Hey neighbors, the handyman here with Initiative Coffee Company along with State Farm Representative Jake Del Maro, and today we're talking about DDAL 3-13, Writhing in the Dark, writer Alan Patrick, editors Claire Hoffman, Chris Tulach, and Travis Woodall. This is a 2-hour mod set for Tier 2 plays, specifically tuned for 5 8th level characters. Time is stressed throughout the module and should be a tension point for you and your players. The party is sent by their factions to a mind flayer to help him hunt down a mind flayer so the surface folk can ally with a hive of mind flayers. What could go wrong? Part 1, your civic duty. The party finds themselves in the Underdark at a meeting location provided by the Alliance of Surface Folk focused on the Giants of Miramidra. They meet their contact, a mind flayer named Glor, who asks them to hunt down another mind flayer, Rogue Thought, in order to gain the trust of his sept. Starting off in true Alan Patrick fashion here. Get us going, Jake.
Aggressively.
Yeah, it is. It's aggressive.
I mean, like, I like the fact that like these section names are like volunteer. You mean voluntold,
right?
And it's like, I don't mind when mods drop you down in the middle of the action, like a middle, like you're just going like, what, huh? And then you see like a mind flare, and it's like just there,
just chilling, not trying to eat your brain.
So Glor of the Regax, I can't give myself a concussion trying to read that.
Rixieg?
Yeah, sure, that one.
Rixieg.
Hive mind. They're like, we don't like the other slaving habits of this other hive mind, and you're like, okay.
It's not even another hive mind. It's just a single like mind flayer that got away.
Oh, habits of most other mind flayers, yeah. Correct. And then they're like, we gotta go get this bad rogue thought.
Yeah.
Rogue thought. And I mean, that's, I don't know how much more you want me to say there at this point. Like that's about as much as anyone, as much any player or any DM gets in terms of info. Realistically, sure. Like we're just at players and DMs at this point are at the same level of understanding, and that as a DM puts me on edge.
Yeah, I think there's something to that. I think, like, again, this is a 2-hour mod, so there's not a lot of fluff in here, but like, yeah, I wish there was a little bit more here, I guess.
Like it's a simple hunt. It's a hunt down mission. Yeah. Like that's it. This is all this it really is. But like, knowing Alan Patrick, I would like in other mods, I'm going like, what else is happening?
Yeah.
And then when I had to flip back through the mod and realize that there's nothing different happening, right. I'm like,
this is really not like in line with most of his other modules. It is so far as he's like, what if we do a mission in the Underdark, but their contact is a mind flayer?
Yeah,
wouldn't that like, be cool? Like, and that's that's fine. But normally there's so much other stuff going on, and some like
it's disarming,
overarching mechanic. It's definitely like you're like, where's the thing I'm missing here?
Wait, what's the problem that I have not figured out as a DM that I'm gonna have to spend thinking about overnight to figure it out? Nothing. There's nothing.
Yeah.
There's not one, and that gives me that is truly disturbing.
Right.
Other than that's
the
really
problem. Yeah. Part 2, the brain bucket. With little effort, the party finds themselves at the Rogue Thought Mind Flayer's lair. The scene is grim as their quarry has borrowed the lair from a group of drow that he's killed. After solving an elaborate Brains of Goldilocks puzzle, the party can advance to the Rogue Thought. There's like a few encounters here of things that are...
You mean Riz again?
Being enslaved. You meet a Riz again. I'm always excited to see like the reoccurring like B characters that show up periodically.
I don't even think he's B. He's like C, honestly.
Right. Yeah.
Like every single time he's like, yeah, he was about to cut me up or eat me, and it's like.
I tried to do a thing and I did very badly because I'm not very competent. So help.
Yeah. Like I was bare minimums leveling up since you guys have been leveling up as well. Like, I mean. the cool thing about this though is on one of these tables in one of these rooms, there's a map of Hillsfar, Flan,
Yeah.
and Mulemaster, and I really like that. Like, it's
I
I
do
don't know
too.
why. It's like it's not even a callback. It's just like it's there.
It's an overarching like notion that like there are factions that are kind of profiteering from all of the problems going on and doing so unilaterally, right? Like there are factions that have somehow like found ways to like exploit all of these terrible things that are happening.
Like,
Um,
and it calls back to like all of the previous epics.
mm-hmm.
You know, the map of Hillsfar is whatever. And it also like has like all the underground things
Right.
involved. Flan has like it states it was pretty much showing when Borg Sharax was there,
Mm-hmm.
and then the last one with Napa Master, it's like where the bombs went off during the second epic, and that's all. Which I think is nice is because this happened after season 2, but like when they were originally doing Adventures League when mods premiered, the results of those mods would then happen and occur and be tracked and
Mm-hmm.
then impact later mods.
Yeah.
And like if for instance, if none of the bombs went off in the season 2 epic when it premiered, this wouldn't have been mentioned.
Right. And like
But since it is
a lot of the AL content since season 2 would have been very different. Like
correct.
Dreams of Red Wizards would have been the whole storyline would have been
Would
different.
have been completely different, or it might not have been in Melmaster. It could have been
Right.
somewhere else.
Right.
But I do like that a lot. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
such a small note. I think it might be more of a DM. Like since we've also recorded all of these other mods,
Mm-hmm.
like and we've played through them and have run through them quite aggressively. Like it's more for me than it is for anybody else. Like,
Right.
but it's a cool note to make,
Yeah.
and I would stop my table and be like, "Oh guys, this is pretty cool." To be like, "We're just trying to play D&D," and I'm like, "I know, but like, check this out.
But there's like maps. Come on,
There's like
are neat.
maps. It's pretty cool. It's like and like some of the older players that we have that played too many of these mods, like appreciate that fact.
It's some
But yeah,
attention to detail that like Alan Patrick has the benefit of knowing that detail as an admin, right? Like
yeah,
it's attention to detail that I don't expect from like this week's author if it's a one-off that they've only written one mod.
yeah.
Because frankly, like there's no reason for them to know all of the content that has gone on to Adventures League since its inception, right?
And then I guess moving on to the other parts of this mod, I don't think there's anything that's too crazy. It's like you find different sized heads and stuff
Yeah.
and brains, and you got to put them in a bucket, and like that's what unlocks it. And like I guess if I remember correctly, it was like the different insignias on the bowls. Like they're not the rooms are not all the correct place to find the brains.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the bowls will represent what brain is needed.
Yeah. Based
And
off
I
their
do like
size,
that.
I think.
It's kind of gross, but
Yeah. I mean, you're dealing with mind flayers. It's pretty gross either way.
Yeah, and it's not the first time, but like this is the
Yeah.
first. It's the first time I guess we encounter the goriness
Yeah, that's true.
that mind flayers can cause.
Usually it's kind of a fade to black scenario.
Yeah, and this is like a lot more like in your face, and even the name of the part is the brain bucket. But like,
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
that's true.
It's not bad, but like I think that maybe might be something if your party's a little squeamish. Why are they in the Underdark? But also
Keep that in
maybe
mind, yeah.
maybe you can make it.
Make them statues of brains or something. I don't know.
Yeah, like they have something or
Yeah.
they got a brain in their pocket. I don't know, a brain
Something,
like a token. I don't know.
Right. Yeah, I think that's probably true. Part 3, Driven by Passion. The party faces a tough fight with a fiendish mind flayer. That's the whole section. It is a tough fight. There's a lot going on. There's layer actions involved. This mind flayer.
This could be a wild fight.
Yeah.
But to note, it's an action economy fight.
Mm-hmm.
Because the rogue thought, I think he has a couple of his minions with him. No, he's here with the Githyanki warrior.
Oh, Githyanki warrior. And Thera, who is a prior encounter that you can like shove off earlier if you want. In part 2.
Yeah, so like the thought, like this is simply he's going to die eventually.
Mhm.
But the cool thing is he's a spellcasting scion too, which is pretty neat.
Mhm.
Um,
With a lot
his
of layer actions, like 4 separate layer actions is a lot, and
so
all of them are pretty substantial.
I would say be careful. If like he's got the capacity to beat the crap out of
Hmm.
anybody, and one good mind blast.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, it's a quick loss if all of your party gets stunned.
And if their brain is extracted, if someone gets stunned, they're technically incapacitated, if I remember correctly, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And then that they take 55 damage.
yeah.
So
Hmm.
like be aware that this is not going to be a fun fight. Like one bad
Yeah.
yep. That I don't
Um,
think there's really much else to say about that other than yep.
if I
Like
remember correctly, I don't. Oh, the DC is high.
yeah, it's a
It's like a
tough DC.
16, huh?
It's the tough DC.
15. Yeah, it's aggressive, especially if you're at the bottom of the tier. If it's me, I might drop it to a 14 just to make it a little bit more reasonable. I don't
This
know.
isn't a capstone fight. That's the other thing. Like,
Right, it's not like an end. It's not the end of tier 2 here. It's
but at the
kind of
same time,
middle.
if he goes low in initiative, realistically, one paladin smite could kill him.
It's true.
Like, one crit paladin smite, he's already beyond half dead.
Yep, 71 hit points. It's not a ton. I don't know. I would just be cautious and be aware of where your party's at.
Don't do it to do it to a level 10 guy, not a level 5.
Yeah, that's true.
That's all.
Yeah, I don't know. I think there's a lot here. There's a lot to keep track. Like his stat block is nearly a full page.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot to keep track of here with the Mind Flare.
I don't know how he's only CR9, but that's just me. That is some generous Alan Patricking.
Creative rounding on the part of Alan Patrick, I think.
That's where it was. This is where we figured it out.
Right. This is the overarching thing that
Baloney.
you missed. Yeah, I mean, like, there's a lot here to keep track of. I think it can be a memorable fight for sure. I don't know. There's a lot of like added stuff.
If Thera gets involved, that's where the intellect devour comes from.
Mm-hmm.
I was reading that. So Thera is being controlled by an intellect devour. So if you don't deal with her first, this fight becomes way harder.
Way harder, yeah.
Like
Yeah.
obscenely hard.
If you have 6 or 7 characters,
Then you're fighting normal.
you're on an average party, even if those characters are 5th level.
Yeah.
And any of these abilities could reasonably kill a 5th level character. So just kind of be aware of that as you're starting this fight.
But once again, it's action economy driven. Yeah. This fight is all action economy.
Yep.
If people are wasting their turns doing dumb stuff, they're going to die.
Probably, yeah. Anyway, after defeating the Rogue Thought, the party has secured the allegiance with the Mind Flayers in the upcoming attack to take back Sithmore Kane. So there it is, DDAL 313, Writhing in the Dark. Thank you so much for listening to some advice to streamline and run at your tables. Be a good neighbor, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, toll the dead for notifications. Find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and Patreon. And from now, until the next time, roll together.